Hello YouTube, how is everyone doing? It's Professional here. Welcome back to my playthrough of Ace Attorney Investigations. Let's continue from where we left off. Let's find out what's going on over here. Judge Gavel's goal. April 6th, Detention Center. Holding cell. It looks like... Yeah, Ooh. Looks like the same cell that we visited earlier, too. Oh, man. But, they put Edgeworth in prison, so this is one of the few times that we actually see ourselves in prison. I know the only other time I can think of when you were in prison in an Ace Attorney game was in the, it was the second case in the first game, when Phoenix Wright was framed. Never thought I'd spend another night in here again. And they stripped me of all the evidence we painstakingly gathered. Even if they did let me keep Kei's Yatagarazu pin. I can't help but worry about her. They better be treating her well. The murderer. It was me? I remember looking down and... the person in the red raincoat was on the ground. It was me, Mr. Edgeworth. It was me all along. I'm the murderer. I'm the murderer. Come on, let's go. You've got a visitor. Visitor? Who? Someone by the name of Dick Gumshoe. Want me to send him away? No. Though I'm not sure what to even say to him. We're on the other side of the interrogation room here. Detention center. Visitor's room. Wait there! You're leaving me unsupervised? Forgive the intrusion. What? Judge Gavel? Oh, he said it to Judge Gavel. Please, Mr. Edgeworth. Take a seat. What are you doing here? I was told it was Detective Gumshoe. I imagine you wouldn't come if you knew it was me. What could she possibly want from me now? I suppose I better find out. Your visit. Can I actually present this to her? Miss Faraday is currently being interrogated about her involvement in the murder. You and the committee, you know what you're doing, don't you? You know that the wrongful arrest and persecution of an innocent person is beyond reprehensible. That's quite the slanderous remark. I would ask that you frame your outburst with a little more care. Besides, she is not innocent. You merely wish that she is. You can't say that. You don't have conclusive proof. Nor do you have conclusive proof to the contrary. Let's not retread this tired old topic again. She will go to trial, and the goddess will pass her judgment. There's nothing you can do to stop that. That's why in America, it's innocent until proven guilty. The difference between innocent until proven guilty and guilty until proven innocent is that guilty until proven innocent means that the person that's being accused has to prove their guilt. When it's innocent until proven guilty, it means the state, the government, has to prove that this person is guilty, that they had done it. But she's claiming that you don't have conclusive proof that she's innocent. But it's not really up to me, it's up to you to prove that she's guilty. And there is nothing more to say on the subject. Instead, let us speak of the matter at hand. Your visit. You may not be aware of this, but you are only permitted to meet with specially approved visitors. So I'm to be treated like a dangerous criminal, am I? I suppose my reputation has rather plummeted. It has indeed, for you of course, and your friends. That attorney and the other girl were raising quite the fuss earlier. Fender and Emma. I saw them launch some extremely heated words at one of the guards. No, you didn't! You may thank the goddess in that regard, for even she is too busy to deal with each and every infraction. They will not be punished for their bad behavior. Did you come here just to chit-chat with me? You must have a lot of time on your hands. Oh, speaking of which, Miss Von, Karma is continuing the investigation where you left off. I just thought you would like to know. I figured you would be, worried about how they were all doing. I hate to admit it, but she read me like a book. Your motive. Let's cut to the chase, Your Honor. Why are you really here? I'm here to simply talk, nothing more. There's something I wish to know about you. Me? Yes. Who else? Objectively speaking, you are highly intelligent and quick-witted. And a born prosecutor at that. Please, Judge Gavel, your sarcastic praise is but salt on my wounds. But I sincerely mean every word, Mr. Edgeworth, and is why I fail to understand you. Take this latest case, for example. You were up against the very committee itself. You had no hope of succeeding. Even a child could have seen that. And yet... Heh. I don't imagine the old me would have ever been so reckless. The old me had power, and because of that, I thought that justice was always on my side. Just as you and the committee believe now. But a certain person changed my mind. He made me reckon with my selfish and skewed sense of justice. He's talking about Phoenix in the original, Ace Attorney games. Because, Edgeworth was kind of a scumbag in the, very first Ace Attorney game. And once the scales had fallen from my eyes, I began to look at people differently. I saw that I was only able to be an effective prosecutor thanks to the efforts of those around me. Detective Gumshoe, the many investigating officers of the force, and even Kay. It changed me. The degree to which it changed me still surprises me to this day. I see. Thank you. I feel that perhaps I understand you a little better now. You? Understand me? I highly doubt it. Someone who is so focused on forcing their idea of justice on others can't possibly see what I see. Is that so? Is that what you truly believe? I will say one thing. This has been a very interesting conversation. That is all. Before I go, there is one remaining matter. I was asked to inform you that the date of your hearing has been confirmed. It will be held today, in the trial chamber. The committee sends its warmest regards. If that is all you had to tell me, you could have sent a message. And entrust a goddess's words to another? That wouldn't do now, would it? Until then, Mr. Edgeworth, I'll see you again very shortly. Wonder what she really means. And it's very hard for me to read Judge Gavelle. Very hard for me to understand her fully. I can't tell if she's a good person or a bad person. It's very hard to tell. Oh, I can walk around the cell. What am I supposed to do, though? I barely spent any time in here, and already can feel my personal appearance slipping. I may have given up on my badge, but I mustn't give up on myself. My collar! It's slightly creased. There, a tidy outside begets a tidy inside, which is why it's more important now than ever to take care of myself. There's a menu here on the table. Seems that the detainees are able to pay to have their meals brought to their cells. What looks good? Spaghetti and mac and cheese and lunch, and linguine for only $1. Basmati and brown rice special for a limited time only, and add regular white rice at no extra cost. Probably for the best that I'm not very hungry. The window is barred with heavy steel. It reminds me of a movie I once saw. A prison inmate hatched a plot to escape by using a file to cut his cell bars. I won't be doing that, of course. For one thing, I don't have a file on me at the moment. What am I saying? I wouldn't even do it if I had one. There's a note on the wall next to the toilet. Sorry, we're currently out of toilet paper. Please make the necessary mental preparation before using the toilet. What sort of mental preparations can one even make? A very basic bed. I can't say it was very comfortable to sleep on, however. I imagine Detective Gumshoe would sleep soundly on it nevertheless, loudly snoring all the while. I suppose we'll probably never get to work together again. But I don't have any regrets about the bed I've made. I'll follow my own path to the end. What am I supposed to do right now? This is the pin Kay always wears. It's shaped like the mark of the Yatagarasu. It's very eye-catching indeed. I can't imagine any thief other than Kay would want to wear it. Oh, wait. There's a poster in the corridor outside. We regret to announce that due to the warden's arrest, the Die of Destiny game will be discontinued. Inmates will no longer need to roll a die every morning to determine their meals for the day. What? We wholeheartedly apologize to those who are looking forward to their daily casting of the dice. Did anyone really need an apology for the cessation of such a ridiculous idea in the first place, that actually violates the 8th Amendment, cruel and unusual punishment. It actually violates a part of unusual punishment. The fact that you have to roll a die to determine your food for the day, that is... Do I have another visitor? Okay! Oh, thank goodness you seem alright. That's a load off my mind. Such a heartwarming scene. It's enough to make a grown man cry. You're the one who's causing most of this. But you're still not your usual cheery. I mean, you have to stay positive, Kay. You didn't do anything wrong. In fact, I guarantee you didn't. No, you have to let it go. I'm the murderer. I know that now. But you're not. You can't be. Why don't you have any faith in yourself? How can I, Mr. Edgeworth, when there is no me left to believe? None at all. I don't think that's true. Before you lost your memory, we spent quite a bit of time together. And I dare say you left quite the impression on me. So you see, there's still plenty of you left. That's why I believe so much in your innocence, and why you should believe in yourself too. Thank you. But I can't. It would just cause more pain for the both of us. Please, you have to forget her. Forget that, Kay. She's gone. Kay, no! You remind me of my younger self, you know. So noble, so bold. This is the justice you and the committee stand for? Justice? I suppose you could call it that. What is he up to? Why is he going to such lengths to control everything? I can't shake the feeling that something is very wrong here. Is there some hidden agenda at play? There's no time to second-guess myself. If I'm going to find out what it is, it's now or never. Well then, my boy, suppose I should be... Wait! Why is the chairman so intent on seeing Kay charged with this murder? It doesn't make any sense. We're playing mind chess here. Oh. There must be some rhyme or reason to this madness. Come now, Miles. I'm a busy, important man. I can't be wasting our precious time talking to you. The only way out of our current predicament is through Chairman Winner. There's so much to ask, and so little time. Let's start by trying to find out why he rushed to have Kay arrested so quickly. I can't just let this happen. I'm getting answers, if it's the last thing I do. Why he rushed to arrest, Kay? Why to rush to arrest Kay? Why are you so keen to push through Kay's arrest? I've yet to hear a satisfactory explanation. An explanation? I'm not entirely sure what you mean. Don't give me that. You know exactly what I mean. Tut-tut. I advise you to moderate your tone, dear boy. Need to remind you of your position. Bide my time. Let me try biding my time. And suppose we did let your friend go free. What then, What do you mean, what then? Think how it would look, my boy. And who would have to take the blame? Me, that's who. Bide my time. And so what? No, not that one. I should have, I should have bide my time more. Okay, hang on. Push. Go through this again. When he does that lighter, I think I'm supposed to bide by time. That's the, Bide my time. You're right to keep your mouth shut. That way, you won't say anything foolish. Sorry, but I can't stay silent forever. Not while Kay's innocence is still in doubt. Ah, you're breaking my heart. Just look at this flood of tears. Spilling out. Please, just leave it all alone, will you? Things were coming along nicely until you interfered. Coming along nicely? Coming along nicely? That's a pretty strange way of putting it. It's almost as if you wanted Kay's arrest to happen. It certainly doesn't sound like the statement of an impartial representative of the law.
You think so? Well, that wasn't my intention. Has it occurred to you that, you might be overthinking things a little?
Chairman Winter certainly knows how to dodge a question, but it doesn't change the fact that the serious doubts remain concerning case arrest. Next, we'll need to press him whether he really believes the investigation was sufficient. I think I can take him on. I think I can beat him without making a mistake. We can't allow these statements to go examined, no matter how trivial they may seem. One of them may just give us the breakthrough we need. Find out whether the investigation was sufficient. How much time did you spend investigating? You were the one calling the shots, weren't you? How much time did you spend investigating? Better question. How much time was spent on your investigation altogether?
Well, now, let's see. You know what? I'm not sure I can remember.
And I'm sure you can. You won't bluster your way out of this one.
It's not bluster, my boy. I honestly don't recall. It's a problem when you get to my age, you see. Why, I even forget my own son names sometimes.
What? And you can be the head of the committee? Never mind your fool of a son. Answer me, how long did you spend on the investigation?
You're right, of course. The boy's a fool. I never meant for him to grow up like that, but... Oh, woe is me.
He's only too happy to derail a conversation no matter where I take it. I have to force him to take this seriously. Let's try another tack for now. You were the one calling the shots, weren't you? You can hardly say your investigation was sufficient. And you're the one who called all the shots, weren't you? Including the decision to have Kay arrested.
Oh, I'm afraid I'm nowhere near as influential as you think, dear boy.
You're the chairman of the committee. Doesn't get much more influential than that. Not that I care about such things.
You wounded me. It's enough to drive an old man to tears.
You'll have to forgive me. I'm not the deferential type.
Well, if you're going to insist on being so blunt. And I'm afraid you won't be seeing your prosecutor's badge again anytime soon.
I don't need that badge anyway. Let me make something clear once and for all. That badge isn't the be-all and end for me. Far from it. I'm not concerned with titles or roles. Even you must understand that much.
So young. So very young. A word of advice, Miles, from someone who's been around the block. You're hopelessly naive, my boy. Idiotically so!
Well, that's certainly got under his skin. He might be less guarded in his answers while he's in this state. Now's my chance. How much time did you spend investigating? How much time was spent in your investigation altogether?
My, you really don't give up, do you? But even my patience has its limits, you know.
What a coincidence. So does mine. Now answer the question. Do you believe that your investigation was sufficient or not?
Ah, the youth these days are wont to be reckless, makes me want to put you in your place. You're going to regret that, my boy.
Bide my time.
Well, maybe you do know your place after all. What's the matter, scared? Oh.
Hardly. I was just thinking about how best to proceed. Getting answers from the elderly requires sensitivity. They can get quite emotional after all.
You have no common sense whatsoever, do you? Don't you understand? Your fate rests in my hands.
You think my fate matters to me now? I don't remember entrusting my fate to you. Oh, no, it's not this.
Let's say you do manage to get some answers from me.
Okay, so whenever he has the lighter, that's the trick. When he has the lighter, it's by my time. That's the trick, when he has the lighter out.
There's nothing you can do with them. So why not give it up, dear boy?
No.
And why not?
It's simple. Because I'm not about to let the truth escape me.
Interesting. I think I'm beginning to see what makes you tick. What you're doing is pointless, tragically, and miserably pointless. Please, just give up. She's guilty. The decision has been made.
You can't declare somebody guilty without a trial. The decision has been made. Once again, your choice of words intrigues me. It's almost as if Kay's guilt had already been determined from before her arrest.
What are you trying to imply?
That you plan to have her arrested. I'm implying that things haven't gone as they normally should. In fact, everything has proceeded as if Kay's arrest was the end goal right from the very start. Well, Chairman Winner, was it?
That's certainly an intriguing theory. But it's also a complete work of fiction, and I'm afraid I don't have time for such flights of fancy. I think it's time we brought this shabby little farce to an end, don't you?
No, he's trying to make his escape. We must confirm the legality of Kay's arrest before he slips away. It's faint, but the truth is finally beginning to emerge. And I'm not about to let this opportunity pass me by. Find out Kay's, legal Kay's arrest was. I still have questions. Wait, we're not done yet.
I'm tired of all this talking, so make it brief, will you?
What grounds did you have? Based on everything I've heard from you so far, it's clear that Kay's arrest is entirely unfounded.
Yes, I think we're all familiar with this particular refrain of yours by now. But I'm afraid it doesn't matter either way. You don't have what it takes to secure her release anyhow.
How dare you take this so lightly as a man of the law?
My, aren't you a rude little boy? But my fuse is only so long.
Bide my time.
Honestly speaking, I don't have time to waste on every last question you could dream up. I have a certain responsibility to attend to, you know. I am really quite the busy man.
Or are you just pretending to be busy,
That's an awful thing to say to a fragile old man. I work harder than I should at my age. I ask you, my boy, what can I even hope to accomplish by putting up such a pretense?
You're hoping to avoid talking about the case. You obviously don't want to talk about the case anymore. That's why you're so keen to get out of this conversation, isn't it?
It's just so tragic. It really is. That you would suspect me of such things.
It's not a suspicion, it's a certainty. There are no clear grounds on which to base Kay's arrest for a start.
Now, my boy, let's not get carried away. There's plenty of evidence to support our case. The mask, the letter, the corsage, these were all in her possession. And of course, her confession. More than enough to prove her guilt, I'd say.
But those are circumstantial. And the confession was made under duress, which is illegal confession. What's the matter, struggling to come up with a way to explain everything away? Bide my time.
Well, there we have it. Your silence speaks volumes.
It's true I can't counter your argument right now, but you did let something valuable slip. A suspiciously detailed knowledge of the evidence against Kay. He rattled off that list like he knew it inside out. Yeah, he did. I think that might prove to be a valuable clue. Kay is innocent. Kay is innocent.
No, my boy. That's just clumsy. Anyone can blurt out baseless assertion like that, even a disgraced superstar prosecutor.
It's no good. I don't have information to take this any further yet. Okay. I still have questions. Wait, we're not done yet.
I'm tired of all this talking.
Who gave the order? Who gave the order? Who decided that Kay should be arrested?
You know, I can't seem to remember. Don't ever get old, Miles, my boy. You wreaks havoc on memory.
Time to deploy my clue. You remembered all the evidence pretty well. I'd appreciate it if you stopped playing the old man card. You remember the details of the evidence against Kay pretty clearly. Perhaps if your memory didn't fail you only when it was convenient, I'd be more inclined to believe you. So let me ask you again, Who gave the order for Kay's arrest?
You're a sharp one, I'll give you that. My son could learn a thing or two from you. If he wasn't such an incurable numbskull, that is. It's tragedy, really.
I don't want to hear about your son. I want to know who authorized the arrest.
You're very mean. You know that, don't you? The arrest, you say. I believe the order was given by...
You, of course. Come now, Chairman Winter. We both know it was you.
Alright, you got me. You make it sound like it was somehow a bad thing, though.
It was!
But I have a reputation to uphold, so I guess I better clear up this little misunderstanding. I'll entertain your questions for a few more minutes. Let's see if I can put your mind at ease.
The key thing to do now is to establish how intimately he knows the details of the case. I just have to ask the right questions. I didn't fail yet. I'm doing pretty good here. I made a few mistakes, but I didn't fail the bar. So that's, the endgame is at hand. We but a few more moves away from the truth. Find out how much he really knows. Tell me how much you know about Kay. The suspect, Kay Faraday. How much do you know about her, exactly?
I know that she's the suspect. Aside from that, not much else. Cross my heart, but it's true.
I don't have a clue as to how to proceed with this line of questioning. I better try another tack for now. You seem to know an awful lot about the case. You seem to know the case in quite some detail.
I know about lots of things, my boy. I'm just smart like that.
Too bad the same can't be said about the way you handled Kay's arrest. Bide my time. I got him.
I'm a very busy man. You try to remember that I can bring this little chat to an end whenever I choose.
It's only taking so long because you won't give me a straight answer to any of my questions. If only you stopped giving me the runaround, we'd be done already. So let's try this again. You seem to know the details of the case quite intimately. Why is that?
Because I read the case file. Not exactly the most thrilling use of my time, of course, but it's part of the job. I have to be a good role model. I can't be seen slacking. It can be so hard. But I had some time on my hands, so I read the whole thing from cover to cover.
But you keep seeing how busy you... Did you really read it all? No, I should have said, but you keep saying you're so busy. I should have put that one. That's the one I should have said. But you keep saying how busy you are. That's strange. I could have sworn you just told me you're a very busy man. I'd say the cracks are finally starting to show, wouldn't you? If you're so keen on being an upstanding leader, you can start by releasing Kay, you know.
You really don't give up, do you? It's a moving sight indeed, my boy. But a tragic one, too. After all, your efforts are for naught. I'm afraid your little friend was found unconscious near the scene of the crime.
Did you see exactly where she was found? We have yet to hear more about the circumstances under which Kay was found. She was lying unconscious in the storeroom, correct? But she didn't get charged with the crime until she arrived at the big building a second time. So how did she know she was unconscious?
That's right, although I'm not at liberty to tell you how I know that.
He knows things even we didn't. In fact, he seems to be aware of every tiny detail about this case. This could be a valuable clue. Tell me what you know about Kay. The suspect, Kay Faraday. How much do you know about her exactly?
I know that she's a suspect. Aside from that, not much else. Cross my heart, but it's true.
Time to deploy my clue. Yet you know every other detail about the case. Sorry, but the more you tell me, the less sense your story makes. For one thing, you know details that even those investigating this scene were not aware of. Why is that? Yeah, how did he know that she was unconscious beforehand? Just how much do you really know, Chairman Winner?
Oh, there's that intimidating face you like to make again. Well, two can play this game. How do you like me now,
Bide my time.
I do have to commend you on your doggedness. It really is something.
Heh, I'll take that as a compliment.
Take it however you like. But wrap this up, will you? I just don't have the stamina anymore. She's the culprit, the only possible suspect. Just accept that already. How much more evidence do you want us to load her down with, for goodness sake?
Load her down with? Load her down with? Yet another interesting turn of phrase. It seems like he's throwing evidence on her. One that makes it sound a lot like the items Kay was carrying might have been foisted upon her.
Impressive. You really do pay attention, don't you? It's no wonder they used to call you a prodigy, Mr. Ex-Prosecutor. I think you know the answer to your question by now. Why don't you just go ahead and say it? I want to hear it from you.
You framed Kay. That's what the next one's gonna be. It's finally time to shed light on the truth. All that's left is to play one last move. Kay is innocent. Kay is innocent.
No, not my boy.
That's just clumsy.
Anyone can blurt out baseless
Assertion like that, even a disgraced superstar prosecutor. Time to deploy my clue. Except I know it wasn't her. Kay was framed. The true culprit set it all up so she would take the fall instead. That is my answer, and I won't let you deny it any longer.
Oh, my. You really got a sharp one, It's a bit of a shame you chose to hand in your badge. I admit it, you're right on all accounts.
What? And that's checkmate. He admitted that he framed her. You knew Kay wasn't the real murderer, and yet you still had her arrested. What's worse, you thought you could get away with it. Well, you won't. Not if I can help it.
There you go with that naivete again, my boy. I guess that was always your problem. With the girl arrested and conviction secured, this whole mess goes away. And that's what will happen.
But whose interest does a conclusion like that serve?
The committee's, I suppose. And mine. Oh. You know, listening to you just now, well,
You really got the tears flowing, I have to say.
it's poignant, heartfelt, and sincere, and utterly infuriating. Look, I'm not perfect, I know that, but your lack of sophistication in these matters is beyond the pale. You insisted the truth is more important than anything else? But would you say the same if you knew what the real value of the truth is?
What are you trying to say?
When you get to my level, you don't uncover the truth. You make it little by little. Kay Faraday, murderer? That's the truth. The truth I created. Yes, my boy, that's what I like to see. You're so sincere sometimes, it's painful. It just makes me want to put you in your place. Knowing the real truth will get you nowhere. Because that's how much it's worth. Nothing. Shocking, I know.
Well, why not go after the real killer? How much do you even know about what really happened?
You're still not getting it. That's your truth. And it's worthless. Mine is all that matters. You understand what I'm saying, don't you, Mr. Ex-Prosecutor? I have all the power here.
Curse you!
Well, aren't you menacing? You and your little friend are just as bad as each other. Violent criminals who deserve to be locked up.
You'll pay for this!
And with that, yeah, another person disappears from my life. Oh, it just makes me want to cry, and cry, and cry.
I'm not planning to disappear just yet, Chairman Winner. There's still the hearing later today. Just you wait. One way or another, I'll prove Kay's innocence to the world then. April 6, 8:30 a.m. Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence. chamber. And Kay's there, and Eustace, and Lotta, and the whole committee. I see Judge Gavelle is also there, too.
10 members, over a majority are present. I hereby call this hearing to order. We are gathered here today to assess the professional competency of Miles Edgeworth, prosecutor Miles Edgeworth.
I am a professional here. How dare you assess my professional competency? I'll literally make him eat those words.
Here in the sight of the goddess, we do solemnly swear to pass fair and frank judgment.
Fair and frank. Don't make me laugh.
Verity, if you would be so kind as to summarize the case against Mr. Edgeworth.
On April 5th, despite having been advised of the illegality of the investigation he was conducting, the accused refused to desist and eventually had to be detained by myself and Chairman Winter. His actions compromised the investigation into the murder of a certain defense attorney. And despite having been presented with copious evidence of her guilt, he continues to insist that the suspect, one, Kay Faraday, is innocent of all charges.
Perhaps you could explain the details of the murder to us as well.
Of course, on the morning of the 5th, the body of the victim was found here in the committee chamber. Further explanation will be provided by me, Eustace Winter, Premier Prosecutor. The floor is yours, Mr. Winter. The murder itself happened late on the night of the 4th. The victim was Miss Rosie Ringer. That same night, an illicit auction was being held here in this very room. Ringer took part in that auction, I think, yeah. Meaning that the murder took place sometime during the auction. When she was found, Ringer was dressed in an outfit that matched the description of the auctioneers. However, due to the fact that the auction carried on after the murder had occurred, I deduced that Ringer was not in fact the auctioneer. You deduced nothing of the sort. And what about the basis on which the suspect was detained, Mr. Winter? Yeah, I got this. So Faraday was overcome by crushing remorse, Eustace. Yeah, that. Tons of crushing remorse. So she confessed. According to her confession, she was on the roof of this building when she encountered a person in a red raincoat on the viewing platform.
And that person was Miss Ringer, I take it.
Precisely, Mr. Chairman. The killer dressed the victim in the auctioneer's outfit after the fact. But at the time when she was killed, Miss Ringer was wearing a red raincoat. And who won the race to find that raincoat nearby? Me, that's who. I'm noticing Eustace is also wearing red, but it doesn't look like a red raincoat. Did you? I thought it was somebody from forensics. Strictly speaking, it was found by one of the forensic investigators under Mr. Winter's command. I knew it. The blood analysis of the coat showed that it was indeed Miss Ringer who had worn it. And the suspect's confession was the final nail in the coffin. She confirmed having committed the murder. So as you can see, Kay Faraday was the killer. There's no way anybody else could have done it.
Alright, Miles, I expect you have some objections. Let's get them out of the way, shall we?
I have no objections, Chairman Winter.
Well now, is that so? I thought it would have taken more than a single night in detention to break you.
No objections in the matter of my unauthorized investigation, that is. When the matter of Miss Faraday's supposed guilt, I have plenty. I can personally attest to the fact that Mr. Winter's investigation was fair and impartial. Of course it was. When it comes to carefully conducted ops, I'm the winner every time.
You know, Miles, it's within my power to offer you a plea deal of sorts. If, and this is purely hypothetical of course, you were to withdraw your objections, you might wake up tomorrow to find yourself the proud owner of a seat on the committee.
Trying to bribe him.
So I ask you again, do you have any objections, Mr. Edgeworth?
If you think you can buy my silence, think again. You will watch your mouth. Only if the chairman watches his. Oh! I didn't come here to talk with the committee's seats. I came here to talk with the murder case. See, this is where Edgeworth is very different than Phoenix. Very different personality-wise. Edgeworth is very more strict to the point, and Edgeworth was just basically tired of the chairman. Like Phoenix wouldn't have said this if would have said something like that. Only if the chairman watches his mouth first. I demand a statement under oath, and I won't rest until I have one. I want to know exactly what the committee's view on the incident is.
You want to put us on trial, my boy? Very well, if it will make you happy. Verity, please provide Mr. Edgeworth with the materials pertaining to the case.
Really? But sir...
This will be his last hurrah, so let's humor him with the send-off he deserves.
If you say so, Mr. Chairman. Evidence data received from Judge Gavelle.
You have no objection to Verity representing the committee, I assume?
None whatsoever. Mr. Edgeworth. Don't worry, Kay. Everything will be fine. You'll see. Oh, this is gonna be good. The committee's view on the case. Miss Ringer attended the auction as a potential buyer. The red raincoat is one of the items up for sale. So our assumption is that after winning and paying for it, she left the auction with her purchase. I'm really curious, if that red raincoat, was the same raincoat that, that Shelly the Killer wore. I'm really curious if it had something to do with the first case. The only exit from the storeroom was, of course, the hatch leading up onto the roof. After she'd emerged onto the viewing platform, that's when Miss Ringer was attacked by Miss Faraday. Shortly thereafter, her flame went out, and thus concludes the committee's view of the case. The raincoat was an offer that night. Is that really true? We believe so, yes. You remember the failed assassination attempt on the president of Zangfi, I assume. The raincoat is a piece of evidence from that case. I knew it! I knew it! It should, of course, have remained safely under lock and key in the appropriate facility. But it's probably... But the only thing I'm curious about is... If it's the raincoat, it's probably Shelly's coat. It's not Tabby Lloyd's coat. It's probably Shelly the Killer's coat. But our inquiries revealed that it did in fact go missing under mysterious circumstances. And wound up in the auction along with everything else. That makes sense, I suppose.
Wonderful work, Verity. Just wonderful. Crystal clear as ever.
You flatter me, sir. Now, Mr. Edgeworth, perhaps you could save us all some time and simply admit defeat. I'll do no such thing, thank you very much. Very well. It's good to know that you still have some fight in you. It is. Why? Come to think of it, she said some strange things when she came, visited me this morning, too. What exactly is she up to? What I'm really curious about Gavelle is I'm really curious if Gavelle actually knows that, Winner is probably the killer. The chairman is probably the killer. He's probably the real murderer. He's probably the one who's in charge of the auction. And I'm really curious if she actually knows that, but she's only doing this on purpose just so Edgeworth can basically say the truth. Just so that Edgeworth can go through with his hearing and stuff. Miss Ringer attended the auction as a potential buyer.
Hold it!
In other words, a member of the committee was actively involved in the illegal evidence trade. It is unfortunate. I don't know what else to say.
And of course, we'll be looking into any such activities as soon as the hearing is over and done with.
I commend your decision to pursue the matter further, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, don't be silly, Verity. It's the least we can do, really. Not that it's any of your business, Miles. Not anymore. If only you'd remained a prosecutor. But you didn't. Now, we're quite done making an old man cry over this whole sad affair.
Very well. Allow me to continue. The red raincoat is one of the items up for sale.
Hold it!
So the raincoat really was one of the auction lots. That's correct. I believe it originally belonged to a Mr. Shelly the Killer. It was Shelly's. But why would they want that raincoat, considering its
status as a piece of evidence? It's the only logical conclusion.
Is from when he made his attempt on the president's life. There was an unexplained mannequin standing among the other items on sale. It could well have been used to display the coat prior to the auction. Do we know how the items were being smuggled in? That is still under investigation, and it's entirely unrelated to the matter at hand. Especially considering that you will soon officially be a prosecutor no longer, Mr. Edgeworth. Sounds like the outcome of this hearing is a foregone conclusion. No surprise there. My personal circumstances aren't important right now. Please continue, Your Honor. As I was saying, the raincoat is one of the items up for sale. So our assumption is that after winning and paying for it, she left the auction with her purchase. Why did she leave so soon after making her purchase? Because of the auction house rules. Winning bidders are expected to pay for their items immediately. Miss Hart told us pretty much the same thing. Miss Ringer, having paid for the raincoat, probably left immediately afterwards in accordance with the rules. The only exit from the storeroom was, of course, the hatch leading up onto the roof. The only exit from the storeroom, of course... No! There's an elevator. I got this wrong, but the other exit is the...
Hold it!
Miss Ringer was a member of the committee. Could she really have left the committee chamber via the main door? While the auction was still underway, that would risk exposing its existence to the outside, the trusted circle of attendees. Given that Miss Hart found about it, I think its existence is already well and exposed. The rules of the auction stated that the attendees were to enter and leave via the hatch in the roof. Miss Ringer had no reason not to follow those rules. And given where the murder took place, we know that she must have done so. After she had emerged onto the viewing platform, that's when Miss Ringer was attacked by Miss Faraday.
Hold it!
But why? What possible motive could Kay have had? That is exactly what we were hoping to establish in our upcoming interviews with Miss Faraday. Coercive interrogation after the fact, something you seem to specialize in. If the murderer knew that the attendees would be all leaving via the hatch, then the roof would have been the perfect place to lie in wait. So as I was saying, after she'd emerged onto the viewing platform, that's when Miss Ringer was attacked. Shortly thereafter, her flame went out, and thus concludes the committee's view of the case.
Hold it!
Her flame went out. The flame of her life, Mr. Edgeworth, though perhaps her flame was stolen from her, is more apt.
Objection!
But the candelabrum that extinguished her life was one of the auction lots, meaning Kay had no way of getting hold of it to begin with.
Overruled!
Miss Faraday could not have lain in wait for the victim without knowing of the storeroom's existence. She could easily have snuck down the ladder and stolen it while the auction was underway.
If only we knew where the candle holder was during the auction. That would surely clear the matter up. No? Well, either of you?
Sadly, we don't have anything that could tell us much on that front at the moment. Wait a second, Miss Faraday could not have lain in wait for the victim without knowing the storm's existence. She could have snuck down the ladder and stolen it with the auction, if only we knew where the candle holder was during the auction. Forgive me, sir, that is something we are hoping to establish through the further investigation.
Well, isn't that a shame, Miles, my boy? It seems this line of inquiry is something of a dead end,
Isn't it? Their theory is that the victim and her killer met on the roof, and that's where the murder took place. In other words, it assumes the viewing platform was the scene of the crime. Was that really the case? I thought I had evidence that clearly shows the story of what happened that night. Time to double check. The box, hang on.
Objection!
Not the box? Box in which the killer hid the body, traces of blood were detected inside. Blood was on the elevator. The elevator or the closed box is here.
Objection!
Damn. It's a little hard to... Damn, okay. Oof. Why would she have blood on her hands if this is the picture of the victim leaving? Why would she have blood on her hands already as she's leaving?
Objection!
Oh, there we go. That one was a bit tricky. Maybe you can clear something up for me, Judge Cavell. What is Miss Hart doing here at this hearing? She is an eyewitness. I thought it would be obvious. Well, now, I ain't really an eyewitness. More of an ear witness, I guess. Heh. She's not exactly the most confident, inspiring choice to help you make your case, is she? I like to think I choose my allies a little more carefully than you, Mr. Edgeworth. Then you should question them more thoroughly, because there's something she hasn't told you. Take a look at this. It's a photo taken by Miss Hart. Yes, in the storeroom, correct? What of it? According to your theory, the murder occurred up on the roof. But according to Miss Hart's testimony, she happened to witness the entire incident unfold in the storeroom, just before she took this picture. Wait, you're saying Cavell got it wrong? That's exactly what I'm saying. What? Miss Hart, if I may confirm your account of the events you witnessed that night. You saw the person in the picture, correct? I sure did. Clear as day, and with my own 2 eyes to boot. And what were your impressions at that point? My impressions? This right here is the scoop of the century, something like that. Yeah, that makes sense. I was hoping more for your impressions of the person in question. Oh, that there is a walk-in meal ticket. Seriously? Just my little joke. No need to look at me like I done sat in your lunch. Oh, Red Raincoat, why? I took one look and I thought that's our perp right there. And therein lies the rub. For Miss Hart to have thought such a thing means that the murder occurred. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, when will you learn to use your words? It's an explanation of the facts that you require. You need only ask, you know. What do you mean? I assume you're about to raise the issue of the voices Miss Hart heard. Voices that may be unrelated. Unrelated? You can do better than that. Was one of the voices Miss Hart heard really even Miss Ringer's? You're kidding me, right? Those folks was talking crime, related turkey, or my name ain't Lotta Dang Hart. Ah, but did you hear them clearly? Well, can't rightly say for sure, but... I can't rightly say nothing, as you know. They was using voice changers. I done y'all told you that. Precisely, Miss Hart heard voices, but those voices were disguised. Which means we cannot even be certain that whatever she did over here had anything to do with the murder. But why did the person in the red raincoat have blood on their hands as they're climbing up the ladder? Heh. You don't need to yell objection or to sigh at me, Mr. Edgeworth. It seems I overestimated you, Judge Cavell.
Nonsense. Verity's the best of us, my boy. That's the very best.
And yet she believes that when Miss Hart, that what Miss Hart might not have heard... And yet she believes that what Miss Hart heard might not have had anything to do with the murder. Even supposing that's the case, it doesn't prove the murder didn't happen in the storeroom. The incident happened before the victim was able to go up to the roof. That much we can say for certain. And I can tell you why. This proves that the incident happened before the victim went up on the roof. Yes, I was right. So, it is the bloody hands. The hands are bloody. If she was murdered up on the roof, why were her hands already bloody here?
Take that!
We initially thought that the person in the red raincoat was the culprit. Yes, because Miss Hart said as much. Indeed, she told us about the blood she saw in this person's hand. And I doubt many people would have thought differently, given her testimony. Ergo, if this person's the killer, then the blood we see would be from when they attacked the victim. But knowing what we know now, that this person is in fact the victim, it contextualizes everything. The presence of the blood still shows that the picture was taken after the attack. But now, it tells us something very important about the victim, too. This picture tells us that the victim... struck the killer. The victim must have struck the killer. She must have struck them hard enough to draw blood, thus the blood on her hand. Mr. Edgeworth, all the blood at the scene was shown to have been from the victim, which means the theory holds no water whatsoever. That wasn't it. This picture was taken after Miss Hart heard the sounds of the attack, right? And there's blood dripping from the person's hands, so... You're right. That can mean only one thing about the victim. This picture tells us that the victim survived the attack. There's no doubt in my mind that the victim was attacked in the storeroom. But here we have a photographic evidence of her standing upright and alive, albeit with a bloody hand. This can only mean that Miss Ringer survived the attack. The blood in her hand is from the wound she had sustained. Well, what are you talking about? Who dies from a hand wound? The wound wasn't on her hand, Mr. Winter. I imagine she had used her hand to try and staunch a wound. That's right. While it's impossible to tell from this angle, the victim was already mortally wounded here.
Oh, well that certainly would change things, wouldn't it?
It very much would, not least by making it absurd to suggest that Kay was the killer. Her encounter with the victim happened after this picture had been taken, and so she was already gravely wounded, she climbed up the ladder, and then she collapsed in front of Kay, and then Kay thought that she was the killer because of that. After the victim had already been attacked, it was in critical condition, and that's probably when the real killer snuck up behind Kay and pushed her down the ladder. I put it to you that all Kay witnessed was the victim finally succumbing to her wounds. That would have been quite the coincidence. It's a textbook case of wrong place, wrong time, I'd say. You seem to be forgetting a rather important fact, Mr. Edgeworth.
Well, that are pretending not to remember it.
What? What fact am I forgetting?
I think it's time to wrap things up, don't you, Verdi? Put the boy out of his misery.
Dad, Gavel works for me. Why do you keep giving her orders? That's my job.
You really are a total utter embarrassment.
I'm not. I hate to break it to you, but you both are. Go do it, Gavel. Put Edgeworth out of his misery. As you wish. What you're forgetting. Miss Ringer's body was found with 3 wounds in her chest. And we all know what those wounds are from, don't we? That's right. They're from when she was stabbed in the chest by a 3-armed candelabrum. Oh, she's gonna argue that she climbed up the ladder with the candelabrum. That's what she was gonna probably argue. I doubt anybody could survive such grave wounds. If you care to read the coroner's report, I'm sure you would change your tune. Wait a second. Wait. Preliminary findings place of death. Cause of death is a set of 3 puncture wounds left side of the chest inflicted by a candle. Victim also suffered head injury post-mortem. Post-mortem had, yeah, and there's the bloody hand. The bloody left hand. We see it there. But what if that she was hit on the head and then stabbed with the candelabrum? Nicely done, Gavel. Now Edgeworth will have to make several objections. Yes, I'm afraid I will. What? Why? Weren't you listening? Oh, I was listening. Very carefully, in fact. Hence my objections. Come on! Why do you always have to undermine me? That's never my intention, I assure you. It isn't. Because you do it so well to yourself every single time already. Of course it isn't. Yeah, I knew that. Because I'm...
Please, Eustace, stop for goodness sake. You've already embarrassed me enough.
Huh? Well, what do you mean, Dad? What you're forgetting. Miss Ringer's body was found with 3 wounds in her chest.
Hold it!
3 wounds. That can't have been pleasant. Yes. Which is why we must see that the perpetrator of this cruel act pays for their sins. Aye. Don't listen to her, Kay. She's just trying to scare you. If we could please continue on, Judge Gavel. Very well. As I was saying, there was 3 wounds. And we all know what those wounds are from, don't we?
Hold it!
I do, but perhaps we should ask Mr. Winter. He does, I'm sure, don't you, Eustace? Who, me? Oh, you bet I do. I know this case inside out. Who does he think he's fooling?
Eustace, my boy. Makes an old man happy and at least glance at the coroner's report, would you?
Sure, let's see. Yada yada, 3 puncture wounds, blah blah, candle holder. No way! That's what they used. Crazy. Precisely. The wounds were inflicted just as Eustace says. That's right, they're from when she was stabbed in the chest by a 3-armed candelabrum.
Hold it!
And you're sure the stabs to the chest were the cause of death? There's no doubt about that. None. One of the spikes of the candelabrum even pierced the victim's heart. And unless you mean to call Dr. Hurt's professional opinion into question, we can only treat that as fact. The coroner's opinion, backing up my own winning ones. Now that's what I call a flawless victory. Well, I'm certainly not about to ignore the coroner's findings. Hey, what about my findings? You can't just ignore them. But the cause of death really was the puncture wounds to the chest from the candelabrum. That would seem to contradict one of the pieces of evidence we've gathered. He's not just ignoring my findings, he's ignoring me! Do something, Gavel! As you wish. At the very least, I will ensure that he cannot ignore my own conclusions. I doubt anybody could survive such grave wounds.
Hold it!
But the victim may not have necessarily died instantly. I think we can say that much at least. Perhaps, but she would certainly not have lived for longer than a few moments either. So, there are people who could survive even if you stabbed them in the chest? Sure, there might be. And there might not be too. So which is it? Trust me, there are not, and in case you're still tempted to believe there might be. If you care to read the coroner's report, I'm sure you would change your tune.
Hold it!
Cause of death is the set of 3 puncture wounds on the left side of the chest inflicted by a candle holder. Well done for reading, Mr. Edgeworth. That report forms the basis of my own conclusions. In other words, if I disprove what it says, I disprove your conclusions too. You have the strangest sense of humor, but I wouldn't mind seeing you try. However, before you do, I would advise you to read that report very carefully. After all, I'm not interested in your opinions, only in solidly grounded deductions. I think that Gavel is trying to help Edgeworth in a way. Very well, then you shall have my deductions. Mr. Edgeworth, don't worry, Kate. Everything will be alright. I need to find something to prove that the victim was still alive and breathing immediately after the attack. If I can't, Kate's fate will be sealed. The coroner's report. Cause of death is the set of 3 puncture wounds on the left side by a candle holder. Victim also suffered a head injury post-mortem. Why? Why, though?
Objection!
No? Wait, shouldn't the raincoat have 3 holes in it too?
Objection!
Damn. I'm trying to talk about that head injury. Why was she injured on the head? This is very tough. Ham. Okay, this is very tough. I'm sorry messing up here, guys, but it's very tough on this one. Save my game here. Wouldn't the raincoat have...
Objection!
It's that, so it was... It was the raincoat. I was looking at this the wrong way, because I kept trying to bring up the head injury. That's what I wanted to bring up. It's like, why was she hit the... Because the coroner's report might be faulty. There might be something wrong with it. Why was she injured on the head after she was already dead? And here's the thing is, if she was wearing the raincoat when she got stabbed, wouldn't the raincoat have 3 holes in it too? But it doesn't. Chairman Winter, you know what this is, of course.
The red raincoat. That's right, isn't it, Verity?
Yes, sir. The one Miss Ringer was wearing. I warn you, Mr. Edgeworth, you will not be thanked for retreading the old ground here. Well, I'm afraid I might have to regardless. Now then, if you'll answer me this, Judge Gavo. You told us that the victim's bloodstains were found on the coat. But do you remember where exactly they were found? Of course, they were found on the hood, and... No.
What's the matter, Verity?
The hood, and was blood found anywhere else in the raincoat? No, it was not. Doesn't that strike you as odd? The victim died of a stab wound to the chest. Wouldn't that lead to expect to find bloodstains in the area? It was the head wound. The head wound. Blood was found on the hood. And yet, there was blood only on the hood. That's a glaring contradiction if I ever saw one. The head wound the victim suffered wasn't just some incidental injury. It was inflicted before the stab wounds to her chest. Perhaps you are correct. Perhaps the victim did sustain the head injury first. As you said, if she had been stabbed first, there should have been blood in the chest area of the raincoat. Therefore, Miss Ringer cannot have been stabbed before the head injury had been inflicted on her. But even if we can see this point, that the head injury came before the chest wound, what difference would it make? How does it change our understanding of the case? I'd say it changes things a great deal. In fact, it raises an even more fundamental contradiction. The coroner's report is faulty. That is quite the bold claim, Mr. Edgeworth. I have to admit, you have me intrigued. Perhaps you could show us this fundamental contradiction with some evidence. Which piece of evidence best demonstrates the contradiction, the order of the injuries, the coroner's report? Preliminary findings find the cause of death at some time late last night. Cause of death is a set of 3 puncture wounds on the left side of the chest inflicted by a candle holder. Victim also suffered head injury post-mortem.
Take that!
This is Dr. Hurt's preliminary findings, according to which the victim suffered a head injury post-mortem. But the order suggested by the bloodstains in the raincoat is exactly the opposite, yes. Bailiff, this court hereby subpoenas Dr. Hilda Hertz to the committee chamber of all due haste. Until she testifies, this case cannot be brought to a close. Yes, Your Honor. I'll go fetch her at once. Unfortunately, Dr. Hertz is a very busy woman. I doubt she'll be able to come immediately. In the meantime, there's another important angle I would like to explore. Frankly, something has been bothering me about the person at the heart of this case. Ringleader wore a white jacket with a magenta flower. Could Hilda Hertz be the real ringleader? The doctor? The coroner? She wears a white coat too. The so-called ringleader. Who exactly are they? Yeah, good point. We never looked into that, huh? Despite having been mentioned repeatedly in this hearing, we still don't know even the most basic facts that might help us uncover their identity. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any thoughts on that matter? We've seen nothing that might serve as clear evidence of the auctioneer's identity as of yet. But there is someone involved with the case that I can name. I suspect that at the very least, they might be able to point us in the right direction. And that's... Chairman Winner. I demand you testify as to what you know. What? Are you crazy? Why would you accuse my dad? You would cast doubt on the integrity of the chairman of the committee? Do you understand the implications of such an act? I don't care who or what he is. We're talking about the truth here. And about a man who seems dead on framing Kay at all costs. The mask, corsage, ticket stub, and everything else. The items Kay was carrying when she was found. They were deliberately placed in her possession somehow. By Chairman Winner himself. A shocking accusation, and one I find hard to believe. But for the sake of completeness, I must ask. Why would he do such a thing? To cast suspicion on Kay, of course. Why else? I even managed to get him to say something to that effect. Chairman Winner, your rebuttal, please. I think the good chairman might be in shock.
So what if I did? Did you hear me, my dear boy? I said, so what if I did? You say you got me with minutes, but where's your proof, With no witnesses to speak of, your word alone is hardly enough to make an accusation like that stick. Or do you mean to tell me that you have something more to base your outburst on? He still has the arrogance he showed back at the detention center, and yet... Mr. Edgeworth, I'm going to have to ask you to explain yourself. If that's alright, Mr. Chairman. Not at all. I'll be very interested to hear this for myself. I'm intrigued to learn where Miles might have gotten the idea that I'm some sort of criminal. Because you'll never find a more fine and upstanding citizen than myself. Oh yeah, sure. He has a lot of nerve, acting all innocent like that. Very well, let's start at the very beginning. The fact that the auction took place right here in this hollowed trial chamber is a point of suspicion. A location that should by rights only be accessible to members of the committee. Yeah, they all have key cards to their room after all. Furthermore, these auctions seem to be held on a somewhat regular basis. And for that to be possible, there can only be one winning explanation. That's right, Mr. Winner, that the auctioneer is a member of the committee. Oh, what? No! What on earth is wrong now? Oh, what did I do? Dad? I play right into his hands. Oh, you did indeed, you utter nitwit. Well, Miles, my boy, you realize that you cast quite the wide net with your explanation.
That's true. There are 11 members of the committee altogether. Wait, 11? 11. Hold on a second. Hold on. The listed auction held in big building. Items on sale were mainly items of police evidence related to homicide. 11 attendees altogether. All were wearing masks. Auction concluded after murder occurred. The entire committee is corrupt. 11 members of the committee and 11 members of the auction. It's the entire committee. But maybe Gavel is the only one who's innocent, because maybe Kay was the one that was that 11th person that was at the auction because she had a mask, and maybe it was Gavel that wasn't there. It's the entire committee's dirty. 10 given Miss Ringer's unfortunate passing. 10 potential suspects in total. Well, it certainly isn't me. Yeah, look at the committee, how nervous they're getting. And it can't be the chairman, can it? Whoever it is, speak up right now. They're all guilty.
Calm down, all of you, please. Well, Miles, that all the proof you've got against me? You're very quiet all of a sudden. But it's too late to be on count now. You accuse the former chief prosecutor and the current committee chairman of a crime. I will tell you to prepare for the worst. But there's no preparing for what you're about to face.
Know your place.
You've been forcing us to argue over every little detail for a while now. Where the murder happened, the order of the victim's injuries, some other things I hardly even remember. But you needn't have bothered, my boy, because it's all irrelevant in the end. Think about it. The suspect herself has already said she did it. That's all that matters at the end of the day, and her sentence will be lighter for it, so rejoice. And there you have it. Feel free to pick your holes in it as much as you see fit.
How can I when that was barely a testimony to begin with? That man, he's a very powerful person, isn't he? It's okay, Mr. Edgeworth. Please, just let it go. I did it. I'm the murderer. I even remember doing it. You saw a flash of something half-remembered, Kay. Nothing more. If you must believe in something, believe me when I say you should believe in your own innocence instead. But I'm up against the head of the committee here. This isn't going to be easy. But he seems to think he's already won. Perhaps I can use that against him. Know your place.
You've been forcing us to argue over every little detail for a while now.
Hold it!
Even if the broad strokes are correct, it doesn't make something true.
Oh, don't be such a stick in the mud. I'd say the bigger picture is more than enough here. After all, every case has its little inconsistencies and contradictions. If we let ourselves get bogged down to every single one, we'd never make any arrests. And once we did, the trials would drag on forever. Even you understand that, right?
Not in the slightest. Hence my inquiry into the details.
Oh, to be so young and pig-headed. Anyway, you keep digging into those little details. Where the murder happened, the order of the victim's injuries, some other things I hardly even remember.
Hold it!
No, you remember all of it. I seem to recall the ringleader's identity, and the faulty coroner's report being critical of points of contention.
Yes, I was listening, my boy. But critical is a matter of opinion.
How can you possibly suggest that such fundamental issues are not important? Perhaps it is your ability to make sound judgments that should be on trial here today.
Oh, bravo, my young hothead. Wonderfully cutting stuff. You do like to try, though, don't you? But you needn't have bothered, my boy, because it's all irrelevant in the end.
Hold it!
There's no way any of what we discussed today is irrelevant. Not until you unless you intend to bury the truth.
But none of it is relevant, dear boy. The only reason you keep trying to make it relevant is because otherwise, you'd be up a creek without a paddle. Think about it, the suspect herself has already said she did it.
Under duress.
Hold it!
It's an illegal confession. Just because she's confessed to something doesn't mean make it the truth. Kay is suffering from amnesia, so any statement she makes should be taken with at least a grain of salt.
Objection!
Even so, it doesn't exactly solve anything for us, does it, dear boy? And it would be nonsensical to dismiss her confession outright. I tell you what, why don't we ask her one last time? Though I'm sure she'll just say she did it again.
Fine, let's do it. Let's ask her again. We'll see if she really believes herself to be the culprit. Huh? You mean me? Is this really what you want, Mr. Edgeworth? If it goes badly, it could significantly weaken your position. I know, but there's no other way. I only request that I be the one to question her.
You really know how to tug at an old man's heartstrings, you know. But fine, ask away. On one condition. If this turns out to be a waste of time, that's it. We'll call the proceedings to an end, then and there. Agreed?
Call the proceedings to an end? You mean the hearing?
Yes, dear boy, that's right. Perhaps you aren't a complete muddlehead after all. Now, just so we're clear, if we ask again, and all that happens, the girl confirms her guilt, she is officially declared guilty on the spot.
You can't do that!
Yes, that sounds like a great plan if I do say so myself.
That's it? You just declare her guilty? Just like that?
That's the gist of it.
It's a big risk. But he's going to find a way to condemn her either way if we don't do something. Kay. Yes. I know it's a lot to ask, but I need you to think. Do you remember anything else about what happened on the day of the murder? Anything that might help us prove your innocence? Why? Why are you still fighting it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's no use. I can't be of help to you. I'm sorry. I'm too scared to try to remember anymore. What if I remember something even worse? And if I did, I'd just be making it more trouble for you. Please, just accept it. The Kay you thought you knew is a dangerous criminal. A criminal who let you down and betrayed your trust. Don't worry, Kay. You have nothing to be afraid of. I may not have known you for very long, but I know you well enough. And right now, I'd say I know you better than you know yourself. You would never commit a murder. You could never, because this is who you really are. Yadagarazu pin. This, yeah. Love the music.
Take that!
You're the great thief Yadagarazu. A noble outlaw who would never stoop so low as to kill. I can't do it, I'm sorry. Because all I can see is the one memory that's returned. I have to face it.
Hold it!
No! The only evidence of your guilt is the confession they forced out of you. As I said earlier, you have to believe that you're better than that. Or are you saying you don't believe a word of what I've been telling you? No, it's not that. You're trying so hard to help me. And you're risking so much for me. It's too much. You have to stop, I'm begging you. Ah, so that's what's going on. I thought it was strange, but now I see. The reason you're allowing yourself to be railroaded into accepting your fate is because of me, isn't it? Which is exactly what the K I know would have done. You're a good person, Mr. Edgeworth. Sorry to burst your bubble, but I'm not. And I don't plan on becoming one anytime soon. Because despite all your wishes to the contrary, I'm still trying to help you. So you see, I've merely been servicing my own ego, regardless of what I put you through. Now, let's try this again. See the good in yourself, Kay. Remember the noble thief you truly are. That memory of you committing the murder. You need to question it with all you have. That's all I ask. So please, do it for me. Kay. What's wrong? Did you remember something?
Oh, it'd be like some cliche movie plot if she did.
A cow. What? A cow? Mr. Edgeworth, if you could perhaps ask her for a few more details. Well, Kay, what can you tell us about this? I remember now. The person in the red raincoat. She had it in her hand. A stuffed cow. I can see it so clearly now. That? Are you sure, Miss Faraday? Are you absolutely certain? Yes, I'm sure. Then this court acknowledges the defendant's latest statements as new testimony.
Objection!
Have you lost your mind, Verity?
We can't have testimony like this. With all due respect, Mr. Chairman, information pertaining to the victim and her possession is new and highly relevant evidence.
Objection!
Need I remind you of the added state of her memory? No, this simply won't do.
Adult, but if we claim her memory is unreliable now, then our own argument is weakened, sir. You said yourself only a few minutes ago that thanks to the suspect's confession, we need not worry ourselves over the finer details, did you not? Were we call into the validity of her memories in the question, then we must also call into question the confession on which our entire argument is based. Is that really the most advisable course of action?
Yes, you're right. Proceed as you see fit, then.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're still in the game, but only by the skin of our teeth. And only thanks to Judge Gavel's intervention. It's almost as if she was on her side for a second. Yeah, she knows that the chairman is guilty and involved in this. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, the stuffed animal. I believe the cow in question is this thing here, Your Honor. We found it in the storeroom, and believe it is yet another auction lot. Wait, that's... do you know something, Gavel? That's from the Zhangfa case. It was the Zhangfa presidents. No. Oh, it's just not what I imagined. I suppose it is a rather odd thing for the victim to have been carrying. I should look it over carefully. Why was she... The right horn seems intact, but I can't say it's doing much for the overall symmetry of this stuffed toy. Look, Mr. Edgeworth, it moves. It does. Zzz, jerk. It sounded like sand being crushed. It would seem there is a recording device hidden inside. I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. Nothing to say for yourself. I've waited so long for this day, and now I'll finally have my revenge. Ah, sure. Could this be the moment of the murder? And someone made a recording of it. Fitted with a recording device that captured part of the conversation. One of the people recorded had a prominent burn. The victim. Hey, that's them right there. That's the voices I heard. Sure as eggs is eggs. Unfortunately, we have no way of verifying when these voices were recorded. It's possible they have nothing to do with the murder. It's only that there was some accompanying video footage. You got bugs in your ears or something, lady? I done told you, them's the voices I heard. As we already know, the victim was holding that thing, right? So it's gotta be from when she got it. Yes, it is a possibility, but a weak one about more than your word to back it up. We need something more, something credible. Yet again, she seems to be stepping in to help. Judge Gavel, I think we all know the voices are from the moment of the murder. Consider for a moment, the words are what we heard one of the speakers say. I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. I believe we have something that could explain what those words are referring to and how it's all related. The burn on the victim's hand. Which piece of evidence proves that the voices are from when the murder occurred?
Take that!
The coroner's preliminary findings. How'd they prove anything? Indeed, one on this page shows that the voices must be heard from the time of the murder. Burn marks.
Take that!
Think again on the words we heard. This part in particular sticks out in my mind. You can't hide that burn from me. The victim had a prominent burn mark on the back of her right hand.
And what of it?
According to Kay's testimony, the victim was carrying the stuffed cow toy. And a burn mark, an identifying mark unique to the victim, was mentioned on the recording it captured. Huh, just a coincidence. Stuff like that happens. All the time, right? No, it doesn't. I'm not so sure that it does, especially not in this case. The court accepts that the recording may be from the time of the murder. In which case, one of the two voices must belong to the real culprit. And based on the content of the conversation, it seems likely it's the one we hear the most. But that still doesn't tell us anything about the killer's true identity, or even if they're male or female. Due to the voice changers, correct. Unfortunate, but unavoidable. One thing, however, has become clear. We are not able to say that the voices Miss Hart heard were those of Miss Ringer and her killer. Just like that, I done told you they was. We can say something else now, too. Then let's hear it. That is, if you don't mind, Mr. Chairman.
Do as you wish.
According to Miss Hart, just before the murder occurred, two people came out the storeroom from the committee chambers on the elevator. The ringleader and one of the auction attendees. It seems that this was the point at which money exchanged hands. The murder happened immediately afterward, and the auction carried on after that. All of which points to one key fact. What else does the latest revelation tell us? The auction carried on after that, all of which points to one key fact. Ringleader was the killer. If the auction continued afterwards... Since the ringleader was the auction's sole auctioneer, then it follows that they cannot be the victim. Hey, Gavel! Not right now, Eustace. There's a good boy. And if they weren't the victim, then they, can only have been the killer. A compelling argument, but hardly conclusive. I am fully aware of that, Your Honor. I was merely warming up for the main event. There were certain traces left on the scene that seemed to suggest that the ringleader was the killer. Then please hurry up and show us. What is something that was placed on the scene that points to the ringleader as having been the killer? I think it's the clothes box, but... I gotta really think about this carefully now. Something that was placed on the scene that points to the ringleader as having been the killer. I think it's the box. The committee chamber blood. Blood found in the committee chamber. Was it placed there to hide the existence of the storeroom?
Take that!
The killer deliberately left a large pool of blood at the foot of the God's Justice statue. It was due to the blood that we originally thought that the murder had happened in this chamber. But it was simply a ruse, designed to cover up the blood that had dripped down from the storeroom. In order to conceal the existence of the underground auction, correct. Correct. If the culprit had nothing to do with the auction, they would have had no reason to cover up the blood, which further supports the theory that the ringleader and the killer were one and the same. And so as to the identity of the ringleader, do you have anyone you'd like to name? The auction is always held in this committee chamber, with its storeroom located just overhead. So at the very least, we know that the murderous ringleader has some connection to the committee.
Yes, yes. And you suspect me, correct?
As the committee's most powerful member, that should hardly be a surprise, right?
Objection.
You're a fine prosecutor. That much I'll give you. But as I think I may have mentioned already, you're also hopelessly naive. You've got nothing to avoid, have you?
No evidence whatsoever.
Unless you've got something to share after all.
Do you have any evidence to show that Chairman Winter is the murderer? Save here, too. No, I don't. I don't think so. It was Chairman Winter himself who brought up the fact that I suspected him. And he seemed confident right from the get-go that he's untouchable. Which means he knows I have nothing.
Oh, well, Miles, my boy, time to pay the piper. I've always wanted to say that.
You know what I'm really curious? I'm curious if Hilda Hertz is the killer, or has anything to do with the scene. She covered up the autopsy report, and she wears a white coat also.
Verity, he's all yours.
Wait, dang it. I just remembered something. Huh? Did you have an amnesia too? No, it just done came to me. Flash of inspiration. You know how it is. Very well. Say your piece.
Objection.
What are you doing, Verity?
Mr. Edgeworth's made it clear that he won't give up until every last lick of hope has been extinguished. So extinguish we must, lest he try to drag us through this excruciating process again in the future. Yeah, what she said. I don't quite get it, but it sounded pretty cool. Don't worry, Dad. I'll help Gavel bring this to a winning finish. We'll show them how wrong they are. Oh, don't worry when he says that.
Fine. Let's hear what the witness has to say.
You heard the chairman, Miss Hart. If you would be so kind. Well, alright then. Here goes nothing. The facts, Miss Hart, and nothing but the facts, please. Don't you worry your pretty little head on that front. I'm a journalist. Truth's my middle name. Color me officially worried. So the ringleader is the killer, right? Which makes the victim one of the same auction goers. Thing is, that don't add up. I counted 11 people coming down that hatch, she. Then the murder happened, and then the auction started back up again. Now, it had me a look back downstairs right after that. No. And when you know it, there was 11 little duckies all lined up in a row again. How? And you're sure of this, Miss Hart? Sure can be your gavel ship. Saw him with my own 2 peepers. So, 11 people before the murder, and 11 again, right after means... Wait, that's a thingy.
A contradiction, Eustace. Do try to keep up.
Miss Hart, did nothing really change at all? I done told you already. They carried right on again, like nothing ever happened. Oh, except for, it wasn't nothing much, but... What is it? That little old mallet doodad. Can't have yourself an auction without one. Kinda like the one Missy over there's got, but different. The auctioneer's hammer. That's the bunny. I done heard that thing banging and clanging right the way through, then nothing, just like that. So the noise the hammer stopped midway through could have something to do with the murder. Miss Hart's observation about what happened during the mysterious auction. If what Miss Hart is telling us is true, we have something of a problem. Namely, that if the victim is neither the auctioneer, nor one of the attendees, your entire theory cannot stand, Mr. Edgeworth. Chalk one up for justice. Eat that, Edgeworth. See, Mr. Edgeworth? There really was nothing we could do. No, there must be something we're overlooking. Something we still don't have an explanation for. I just need to think. If I can't, chaos.
Alright, kids. We finally have all of our answers now, so that I expect you to make good on.
One moment, sir. I worry that it might still be a little early to pass judgment. After all, we have one more matter yet to resolve. And until we do, we cannot claim complete and total victory over Mr. Edgeworth. Is that not so, Mr. Edgeworth? Frankly, I expected you to have raised your voice by now. A loud hold it, perhaps. Oh, yes, of course. And once again, she has rescued us from the jaws of defeat. Very well, let's get this over.
Very well, let's get this over with, shall we? What is this one matter still
Remains. Why, the contradiction in the coroner's report, sir. That, yeah.
That's,
The coroner could be the ringleader. I think the coroner is the ringleader. I'm back with the witnesses, Your Honor. We were looking at this the wrong way. It might not be Chairman Winter. It might be the coroner. What's this all about? Why'd you call us back down here? Did somebody suddenly fall ill? I'll have 2 compress ready in the shakes of an ouch. Look at what she's wearing, the coroner. White coat there. White coat? Ringleader wore a white jacket, white gloves, a magenta flower, and a mask. Age and gender could not be discerned. This better be good. Did someone else drop dead? Well, they might soon wish they had. Dr. Hertz, Miss Needler, thank you for coming on such short notice. Let me assure you, this won't take long. Quit trying to butter me up and cut to the chase, will you? Of course. We summoned you here to confirm something. What is Judge Gavella up to? Dr. Hertz, this court asks that you provide the unabridged proof regarding the following. Do you stand by your preliminary findings? Can you vouch for their complete and total accuracy? Grandma doesn't make mistakes, ever. That's strange. Huh? What do you mean? In the course of this trial, an error was indeed found in her report. And so I ask again for the truth, Dr. Hertz. Did you alter, tamper with, or in any way falsify your findings? That's awful. How can you even say that? What are you asking me for? Why the heck would I want to do that? To help the true culprit, of course. As if I know anything about all that. I just know I didn't do anything of the sort. And that seems doubtly strange. What other explanation could there be for the discrepancy in your report? Mr. Edgeworth? I wonder if you might have any thoughts on the matter. It's not like you to be coy, I must say. Why does she keep taking charge and helping me? Still don't know what she's trying to do, but I'll happily take what I can get. If everything was recorded accurately, and handed over to Miss Winter according to protocol, then the report shouldn't contain any mistakes. Wait. For the record, I didn't do anything to the report. I guess we'll see, won't we? Dr. Hertz, perhaps we could begin with your side of the story. Why do you even need to? This is pointless. I'll be the judge of what's pointless, thank you very much. We have patients waiting back at the hospital. But Grandma, youch! We really don't have time for this. Won't you please help us? I can't stress how important this is. Grandma says she'll testify. But could you please make it quick? If we're not back soon, people will suffer. And yet you had no qualms about taking your time and buying cotton candy for the last time we saw you. We'll let you go as soon as we can, I promise. Assuming you tell us the truth, that is. The so-called mistake in the report. No way there's a mistake in Grandma's report. Never. I've been dealing with the dead longer, and you've been alive, Sonny Jim. Me writing something wrong is about as likely as ouch. And what the heck did you think I'd stand to gain by doctoring a file, Don't make a lick of sense. And that's all she has to say. Nothing funky here.
See? Just as I thought. There's no chance the good doctor doctored her findings.
And you swear by the holy gods this testimony is true. Of course, Grandma's never told a lie in her...
Objection!
Your opinions are not necessary, Nurse Needler. Your grandmother's subject is inquiry, not you. Not necessary, that's not fair. I'm the only ally poor Grandma has. Go ahead and shout objection left and right, but you, best be prepared then, Mr. Ex-Prosecutor. Oh, I'm more than prepared. I'm ready to expose the truth behind the error in the report. The so-called mistake in my report. No way there's a mistake in Grandma's report. Not never.
Hold it!
Never? You're saying that Dr. Hertz is infallible? She has to be. A doctor can't afford to make mistakes. Even a veteran like Grandma would be out of a job if she messed up even once. So there's no way she of all people would. I got a whole hospital relying on me. Might be you can bungle your work and survive, mister, but I can't. I've been dealing with the dead longer and you've been alive, Sonny Jim.
Hold it!
And you've really never made a single mistake in all that time. Doctoring is all about experience. The longer you've been at it, the better you get. Heck, if only the same were true of prosecuting, Chairman Winter would be the best in the business. but I think we can all agree that's not the case.
Oh, you really are a devil, Miles. But you're also quite wrong. I've never once made a mistake either.
After all, there are people that do that for me. That's you making the mistake. If there's people under your command that are making mistakes, that's your responsibility.
I'm too busy for follow-ups, and lucky for me, I don't have time to make them. Isn't having people just grand?
Don't you go trying to make doctoring and lawyering sound the same. They ain't nothing alike. Nothing alike, I tell you. Me writing something wrong is about as likely as ouch.
Hold it!
The victim appears to have put this raincoat on after sustaining the head injury. And yet there was not a single drop of her blood in the chest area of the raincoat. Therefore, she must have been hit in the head before she was stabbed in the chest, making it pre-mortem. Mortem means death, by the way. Oh, that's ouch. I don't need you to teach me how to suck eggs, young man. My dang report always, says what you just said, don't it?
Objection!
Your report states that the head injury appears to have been sustained post-mortem. Which is the exact opposite of what I just said. Oh. Sir. I diligently dictated that report to Florence here, and she wrote it all down just like I said it. If something happened to it after that, weren't nothing to do with me. You dictated it. If you could please tell me more. I diligently dictated that report to Florence. Anything that weren't, it's nothing to do with me.
it!
Just so we're on the same page, what were your conclusions regarding the body? Well, like I said. Ouch! Sorry, it was, death from a good hard knock to the noggin. And can you say for certain when that knock happened, Dr. Hertz? Pre-mortem, of course. Chest wounds appear to be after the poor girl died. I told you, I told Florence that, and she wrote it right down, so that's what it says in my dang report. Florence, okay. It's her granddaughter. That may be what you told her, but I think we're finally getting to the truth. And what the heck did you think I'd stand by the game doctoring a file, hmm? Don't make a lick of sense. Could Florence be the ringleader?
Hold it!
You may not have stood to gain anything from it, but what about your granddaughter? Me, I didn't stand to gain anything either. Never mind her, what about your little friend over there, hmm? She stand to gain something for sure. All the evidence that she gave, that Kay had on her, that pointed to her. She had that, Florence did. Look at you trying to accuse my sweet innocent Florence of wrongdoing. Yeah, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. I wish you'd tell that to Chairman Winter. Anyhow, nobody doctor report here, nobody. And that's all she has to say, nothing funky here.
Hold it!
Did anything stand out as strange to either of you when you were examining the body? Let's see. Huh? What's that, Grandma? Pretty strange young fella showed up, that's for sure. A strange man, who? Dressed like a dang fool he was, all frilly around the neck and such. And the dangest thing of all, even though we knew the idiot boy was about to get fired, he still insisted on messing with my scene. That's right, I'm talking about you, mister. Ruffle-neckered ruffian. Crimson-suited creep. Oh, so Mr. Edgeworth is a ruffian and a creep. Those are not, words you need to commit to memory, Kay. Dr. Hertz doesn't sound like she's lying. No. But she only communicates through her granddaughter. I should probably try to make sure that Nurse Needler is being truthful, too. I'm gonna save here just in case, because I only got one chance left. Coroner's findings. Florence messed with it, then.
Objection!
Florence doctored the report. Dr. Hertz, I'd like you to take a look at the report for yourself. Oh, I'll read it to you. Youch! This ain't what I said. This ain't what I said at all. What? What? What do you mean exactly? Now she hit her. I don't know. Now she's getting nervous. But I can't say that. Say what? Miss Needler, if you are attempting to bury Dr. Hertz's truth, I will gladly hear her confession myself on behalf of the goddess of justice. Dr. Hertz seems to be telling Judge Gavelle something in private. What? I see. Very well. Allow me to relay to everyone what you just told me. Ain't no doubt about what I said. I dictated my findings to Florence just like I told you I did. The fuddle-headed young, thing must have wrote it down wrong or something. Wow, that was a great impression. Yes, but was it really necessary? So in summary, there is an error in the report. And it was all because of you, Nurse Needler. The true facts have now been shown to be that the head injury occurred prior to the chest wound. I found that weird at the start of the case why there was a head injury after death. The question now, Miss Needler, is why did you introduce such an error?
Just a minute, Verity. You make it sound as if the poor girl did it deliberately. Whereas it seems to me she just made a little mistake. Pre-mortem, post-mortem, they're practically the same word, don't you think?
No, they're not. Pre-mortem means pre-death, post-mortem means after death. Except they mean two completely opposite things. This was deliberate, no doubt about it. But why would she want to change it? Exactly, thanks, ouch. You won't get away that easily. Explain yourself, young lady. But Grandma, You submitted a falsified report and acted like the K being accused of murder. You owe us an explanation. I can't tell you. Not don't want to, but can't.
This is really rather unpleasant, don't you think? Getting up on this poor considerate girl who's only looking after her grandmother. There's nothing to do with anything. She simply made one tiny mistake.
So why not leave it there? That tiny mistake completely screwed up the autopsy.
Objection!
You'd like that, wouldn't you? Because the only person her testimony would hurt is you.
What on earth do you mean, my boy? Seeing as you're now a de facto ex-prosecutor, you're going to explain yourself better than that.
I'd be happy to. I'll even spell it out for you. Nurse Needler's role in this crime was very important because... Save here again. I think she's a co-conspirator. Nurse Needler doctored the report in order to cover for her accomplice.
Oh, so she's a co-conspirator to this innocent young thing. Do share your grounds for making such a wild accusation, dear boy.
The murder couldn't have been committed by one person working on their own. Without at least two people, it wouldn't have been possible to... maintain attendee numbers. If the auctioneer was a murderer, and the victim was one of the attendees, the fact that the witness testified that there being 11 attendees after the murder doesn't make sense. Hey, watch it! You gotta call my good word into question now, too. That's not what I meant. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I'm taking you at your word, which means there must be a co-conspirator.
I know it's hard, my boy, but sometimes you just have to accept that you were wrong.
Objection!
I wasn't wrong. I just hadn't considered the possibility of the killer having an accomplice. But as soon as we do, things start to fall into place. If the killer's accomplice returned to the auction room in place of the victim, there would indeed have been 11 attendees both before and after the murder.
Well, so that's your thinking, is it? It certainly is an intriguing theory. But surely the imposter would have been spotted right away.
I don't imagine that Nurse Needler looks strikingly different from the victim in build and stature. With the help of a mask, she could very easily have replaced Miss Ringer without anybody noticing. Well, Nurse Needler, is that what happened? Did you take the victim's place at the auction? I wouldn't do something like... Now tell us, the ringleader, who were they? I can't tell you, I just can't. It hurt Grandma too. Ow. But Grandma! Don't you worry about me, I can take it. You just tell me everything, child. But... Grandma! So I was right. She was an accomplice. Miss Needler, why? Well, Miss Needler, can you explain yourself? Yes. Oh, thank you, Grandma. But I'm alright now. I confess it. I changed places with Miss Ringer. So you admit that you were working with the ringleader? Yeah, I was helping them. I don't know how, but they found out Miss Ringer was going to attack them. The culprit was going to be attacked by the victim. They seemed pretty sure it was going to happen that night, so they made a counterplan. They wanted to strike first, and they wanted me to help them. I was told to go to the storeroom before the auction began and wait there. Now hold on right there, Missy. I didn't see nothing, and my eyes don't lie. If you'd been there from before the auction, I would have bumped right into you. I was there the whole way through, and you weren't there for a bit of it. But I'm not lying.
Well, that's easy for you to say, but you were lying about altering that report only a few minutes ago.
Objection!
Yeah, I think we're all well aware of the number of potential hiding places in that storeroom.
Are we? Where exactly are you trying to say your friend the nurse was hiding,
Nurse Needler hid here while she was waiting in the storeroom. The box?
Take that!
She hid inside this clothes box.
Oh, she did she?
Oh, well, it was there the whole time, even before I mossied on in. But like I done told y'all, it had all them chains around it. Wanted to hide it in there myself, but it was locked up tight, so I had to go elsewhere. I imagine that's because Nurse Needler was already lying in there by the time you arrived. That's right. We didn't want anybody to open it, or that would have been blown our cover. So the ringleader told me to climb in and wait until it was time for my part of the plan. And then they wrapped the whole box up in chains. I think they took the elevator downstairs not so long after. It was just before the auction was due to start. So as the auction was beginning, you and Miss Hart would have been the only people in the storeroom. Yeah, I think so. The auction proceeded as it always did, until a certain customer came upstairs to complete her purchase. That was when the incident occurred. Miss Hart overheard the victim and the culprit exchanging words around them. You betcha! I was behind that statue there, shaking like a dang leaf the whole time. In the middle of their quarrel, Miss Ringer was killed by the auctioneer. I imagine the auctioneer then carried Miss Ringer's body over the clothes box, from which Nurse Needler emerged and swapped places with the victim, after placing Miss Ringer's body inside the box. Nurse Needler's role now was to pretend to be Miss Ringer. Wait, that would explain... Traces of blood that would explain why there was a small piece of blood inside the box, because they weren't stabbed yet, they were just hit on the head. But they somehow got out of the box. The two of them then returned to the room below as if nothing had happened. Does that about sum up what happened in the storeroom, Nurse Needler? Yes, in fact, that's exactly what happened. Hold up, so you just walked right back on in and nobody noticed? This is two completely different people we're talking about. You're telling me not one of the other folks down there at the auction cottoned on? Why would they? The other auction goers had no reason to notice the difference when Nurse Needler entered because... she had stolen the victim's clothes. As we've seen, Miss Ringer and Nurse Needler are about the same build. What's more, the auction rules required attendees to wear their masks at all times. If Nurse Needler was wearing the same clothes as Miss Ringer, nobody would have been any of the wiser. No, and they weren't. I borrowed Miss Ringer's clothes and... ouch! And left the poor child in her smalls. Have you no respect, girl? No, Grandma, I thought the same thing. It wouldn't be nice to leave her like that. So when the ringleader wasn't looking, I put that raincoat on her. Oh, I see. She took the clothes, she put the raincoat on her, she thought that she was dead, but she was still alive. She was still alive, and so the blood was dripping on her. That's how it also probably got on her hand. She was wounded, she climbed up the ladder, she collapsed up top, and that's probably when Kay encountered the real killer. Kay probably encountered the auctioneer, the real killer, who pushed her down, and then stabbed the victim with the candelabrum. Thus, the auction was able to carry on as before. Guess the part where I caught the red raincoat on film just came after. Yeah, must be. Then it all makes sense. Right after that was when I went on over and looked downstairs for the gap in the elevator. Spied on me 11 happy little auction goers, then back I snuck to my little hidey hole. Don't tell me you were hiding back there the entire time after that. Well, that is, not exactly. What is it? Did something happen? So maybe I ought to have mentioned this before, but I fell asleep for a few winks after that. Well, passed out unconscious, you might say. What happened? Oh, nothing much, heh? Kinda silly, really, but, there was a sudden loud noise, and it startled me just a little bit, you know? Alright, maybe more than a little. But I just witnessed a murder. Can't blame a girl for getting jumpy. Guess that got my heart shook and my head faint. Before I knew it, I was out like a light. By the time I came to it, I was the next dang day. And there y'all were, clanking down that ladder. I see, so you were startled by a loud noise and fell unconscious. I suppose that means you don't know what happened after that. Not per se, but... well, after the auction was over, all the masks were back on the rack. So I reckon the guests done finished up and filed out one by one like they were supposed to. Wait, she said all the masks were back on the rack, but there was one mask that was missing. Nurse Needler. Once the auction had restarted, What exactly were you doing? I was pretending to be Miss Ringer and placing bids, just as the ringleader wanted. I had to win the closed box, as I'd been instructed. If I had a dead body inside, after all. It had a dead body inside. Imagine if someone else had won it. We would have been in real trouble then. So you had no idea that the victim had vacated the box in the meantime? No, not until we came back up so I could pay for it. That was when we noticed. The ringleader told me to go look for her right away. Except I found some other girl collapsed at the foot of the ladder instead. Kay. Yes, she must have fallen from up on the roof and been knocked unconscious. Guess the victim must have left that hatch wide open, huh? That would explain it. Kay would have been so shocked by seeing Miss Ringer fall motionless right in front of her that she wouldn't have seen the open hatch and fallen right through it. That explains the noise that caused you to faint as well as Miss Hart. It was the sound of Kay crash landing onto the storeroom floor. Yeah, I suppose. Can't believe something like that done knocked me out for so long, though. So in summary, by the time Miss Needler found Kay, you were already sound asleep behind the statue. I think we got a good grasp on what occurred up to this point now. Nurse Needler, if you would continue. Sure, so I found Kay, and next I found Miss Ringer, and I put them both in the clothes box. We couldn't risk any of the auction goers seeing them. That would have caused a real, hullabaloo. Was that your idea, or the ringleader's? Theirs. But putting the raincoat Miss Ringer was my own idea. So I tried to get rid of it before they found out what I'd done. Heh, I imagine they were none too pleased when it showed up as a surprise piece of evidence in the case. And lastly, the ringleader and I put her in an auctioneer's outfit we prepared. Of course, which completed the deception and made everyone think she was the real auctioneer. All in all, the auction finished up without anybody noticing anything. And that was that. Now that we know the extent of your crimes, Nurse Needler, if you have anything further to share, I'd advise you to do so immediately. I wish I could tell you more, but I'm sorry, that's all I know. Oh, except for the other thing. It did seem a little strange, I guess. When I was borrowing Miss Ringer's clothes, I took everything I could, but I couldn't take her hair, obviously, so... Ouch. You're dang right you couldn't take her hair. What kind of medical professional are you? But, why did she do it? Why did she help the ringleader? That's where you draw the line, so taking her clothes was okay. Our hair was totally different, the styles, the length, everything. I kind of panicked. But the ringleader thought of everything, including wigs. 2 of them, in fact. There was a straight one and a wavy one. They were both stashed in the clothes box. 2 wigs. But why? Right, I wondered that too. I thought maybe they were worried that she might have changed up her hairstyle. Wait a second. There was a straight one and a wavy one. They were both stashed in the clothes box. Anyway, I took the straight one. That was the one that matched her hair on the day, leaving a wavy wig in the box. Neither's description of how she swapped places with Rosie Ringer. And that's everything you know. There's nothing else you're forgetting. No, huh? No, really, Grandma, that's everything. And I take it that you really have no idea who the ringleader must be. Sorry, I know that only that they were in charge of the auction. I didn't see them without their mask on. And they were pretty careful to keep their identity a secret from everyone. I can't get something concrete on them.
Oh, well, Miles,
Are we done here?
you've proven the nurse was part of the murder plot, but sadly for you, it doesn't change a whole lot. Because there's nothing to prove that Kay Faraday isn't the ringleader. And justice must prevail. We can't change the law, even for your sake.
Is this it? Am I not going to be able to save Kay?
Objection!
Oh, Francisca. Oh, Francisca, what are you doing here? As I told you before, Miles Edgeworth, where the case leads, I follow. Your dedication is an inspiration to us all. But don't go getting the wrong idea, little brother. I'm only here to deliver the truth regarding the suspect. That's one of the few times she's actually called him her brother, but here's the thing. Edgeworth is actually her older stepbrother, not her younger stepbrother. So she's younger than him. I'm only here to deliver the truth regarding the suspect. I'm certainly not here to forgive you. For abandoning the way of the prosecutor. I understand that. You should thank your former subordinate for what I'm about to share. In his desperation to help Kay Faraday, he gave me a valuable piece of information. Detective Gumshoe did that. Prepare yourself, Miles Edgeworth, for the final piece of the puzzle. Rosie Ringer's head wound was the first of the injuries she suffered, not the second. We already know that. Well, someone say something. I thought she was gonna bring in something there, something that was gonna flip the whole case, but like they. This is what I love about Ace Attorney. It's a very serious game of like the murders and stuff like that, but then it also has its very funny moments, and this is like a perfect example of that. It's like you had her like walk in with like this crazy show, and like she was gonna change the case. Like she's like, oh, I have like the big piece of evidence. I have it right here, and it's something that we figured out like 20 minutes ago. Yes, there's no easy way to say this, Francisca, but we already proved that ourselves. You what? Yes, just a few minutes ago. Well, why didn't you say so sooner? You didn't exactly give us a chance. And I suppose you know about the murder weapon, too? No, not yet. Ah, good. Then listen up. The victim was struck on the head with a blunt object bearing a circular surface. The candelabrum, probably. And the wounds to the chest were actually inflicted post-mortem. A circular surface.
Objection.
And you're certain of that, I assume. Your sources are above board. Two trusted medical professionals reached the same conclusion independently. You couldn't ask for more.
Objection.
That's certainly good to know. Unfortunately, you're overstepping the bounds of...
Of what? I am the prosecutor in charge of Interpol's investigation of the underground auction. And this murder occurred during that auction. It would be negligent of me not to pursue leads pertaining to related parties. Especially the victim.
My, you've really become quite the force to reckon with, haven't you, my dear?
Then all parties are in agreement. The victim died from a blow to the head. Death occurred as a result of a heavy blow to the head with a circular object, chest wounds inflicted post-mortem. Sadly, the murder weapon itself has yet to be identified. And based on the shape, I might have an idea or two. Oh, guys! I didn't turn up any other weapon during my investigation! And yet, one need only think about the setting and an auctioneer's tools, and the answer should be obvious. The gavel? The gavel is the murder weapon, the hammer. An object with a circular surface used in an auction. We're obviously talking about the auctioneer's hammer. What would an auctioneer have readily at hand? An auctioneer's hammer, of course. But we have never found one of those! If the auctioneer was indeed the killer, it does seem a likely candidate for the murder weapon. Without the evidence to support your theory, it remains nothing more than that. Oh, I have just the evidence you need right here. This piece of evidence strongly suggests that the auctioneer's hammer was the murder weapon. The sound of the auctioneer's hammer could no longer be heard. This is the Miss Hart statement. This is it. This right here.
Take that!
Miss Hart told us something very important about the auction after the murder occurred. She said that the very prominent sound of the auctioneer's hammer could no longer be heard. Now, why would that be? I'll tell you why. Because it had just been used in a murder, and that was covered in the victim's blood. It would need to be disposed of. Isn't that right? Chairman Winner. I'll have our people look into this right away.
Oh, you really are a dog with a bone, aren't you, dear boy? But if you can't dedicate yourself to a cause when you're young, when can you,
He seems very confident we'll never find it. Very well, a search for the murder weapon will be conducted. In the meantime, this court is in recess. Okay, so I guess we'll finally get to the bottom of this on the next part. Thank you guys for watching. That was a pretty long part. I hope that you guys enjoy. I'm sorry I made some of the mistakes on Gavel's testimony, which was a bit hard. But on the final testimony, I'm assuming it's going to be against Celsius winner. I'll take him down there. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.